think we're having a Merlot. No, this is a Malbec.
Gross.
It's good. Shut up. Do you know what a Malbec is?
Yeah.
Okay, where is it primarily made?
It's made in a vineyard.
Yeah, it's the right answer. Oh, I see you on Twitch.
What about YouTube?
Let's see. Did I get a notification?
Why do I smell barbecue sauce?
Yep, I got a notification. Yep, we're there too.
Interesting. We're simulcast. Now I got to disable the chat on YouTube.
Huh.
If you guys here, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna organize my browser so that I can see the chat and see you guys at the same time.
Okay, great.
So.
Hello, audiences. This is Arcade Radio. We're adjusting our first time ever Twitch config, and so the show will start in 2 minutes ish. Oops. Yeah. Making a post. Publish. I could have made a better one, but whatever. All right.
I'm not logged into the right.
Oh, that's weird. Adam, did you disable playback on other websites for the live stream?
What do you mean?
Hang on a second. I don't know. I can't stream it through a window. That's strange.
What now?
Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Malbec. It's probably from a $12 bottle.
Interesting.
This is wine with Time Runner. Oh, I got this from the Minnesota Zoo. This was a this is a totally I'm blowing this. Whitney's like, when are they going to talk about our kids?
Flow typically go.
We do keep it family friendly. Sometimes guests don't, and so then we accommodate that, but it's sort of tailored around the guest.
Okay.
So we don't need to unnecessarily pepper the language here if it's not necessary, unless you're really waiting to drop an F-bomb, which feel free.
No.
Okay.
No, actually, guys, don't take this any way. I mean, I'm the furthest thing but a prude.
Yes.
But my children will see this at some point in time, and they don't need to see their dad doing that.
No.
So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time on Twitch, so we're going to keep it pretty G-rated here.
Yeah, fair. That sounds great. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah.
Now, if you were Richie Knuckles, I would have a hard time reining you in.
Yeah,
but...
that's I've got all the respect in the world for the guy, but I just I run my deal a little different, so it's just how it is.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I think we're good here.
I'm just gonna ignore people in that chat.
Yeah. Put me back. People have been watching you do stuff.
Yeah. Wait a minute now. So, it's not focused on you right now. Is that right?
No, it shows the overview config screen in YouTube.
Huh.
Now I see is it your Discord channel? I don't know what that is.
I thought I had this set up so I could do like a browser window. Source.
Dave from Buffalo just said that he can listen to Broken Token in his car with his 5 and 10-year-olds.
Yeah, well, that was the intent of this show too.
Thank you.
Until Dan got on it and ruined everything.
Well, that's why we got rid of Dan. No, we didn't do that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and we aim to keep it family friendly. So yeah. you know what, we get a lot of feedback about that actually. So it's something that matters to a lot of people. So we keep it straight.
Nice.
Whatever works, I guess.
Whatever works.
Man
Okay.
alive. All right, guys, that's as good as it's getting.
All right, I think you should start the show.
Yeah. Our chatters are pretty clean, too. Of course, I have like a whole bunch of filters in the chat so they can't swear.
Yeah. I'm in the Twitch chat right now. Is it the YouTube chat that you're in right now as
I would
well?
stay in the Twitch chat, because that's what we're moving to. This is just a temporary thing to broadcast tonight. Let people know we're over on Twitch. And yeah, we may go back, but this is a test. How come I can't just click on my channel and go to it, Mark? Am I on the air right now?
You're on the air for 5 minutes.
Really?
What a cold open.
It's my channel. I have to click like 18 things to go to this. Do I have to watch an ad?
Mike. My buddy Mike shows. Awesome.
Great. We got Mike in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Got Mike and Bob so far. They have represent.
All right.
Is Mike WebDoc?
Mike is WebDoc 90.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, Mike, it's good to know that power supply works, man. I'm definitely going to order one or two myself. So glad to hear it. Oh, you ordered a second. Sweet. What's the shipping time like on that? Do you get it within 2 weeks?
There we go.
Okay, we're at almost 7:20.
Great.
Hey, it's almost the game.
All right. 8-bit. It's going to be hard to tell who in here if they don't have an account either. So.
Yeah, I think you do have to have a Twitch account and be logged in
to chat. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Well, this is broadcasting live on 2 channels. That's a first. And we figured out how to do it, by 7:15-ish. That's pretty good. So,
start the show.
Start the show?
Start the show.
I got to move my little sound board here real quick. So that, people...
I saw that move along there.
Did you?
Yep, that was pretty fun.
There it goes. All right. It's all hidden away now. All right, let's do the show.
Sounds good.
All right.
Live from KOYR Studios in Minneapolis, Minnesota, this is Arcade Radio. Intruder alert, intruder alert.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 13 of the Arcade Radio Podcast. Today is Thursday, March 29th, 2018, and the time is now approximately 7:20-ish Central. Thanks for joining us in the Arcadosphere. This is your host, Adam Strange. I am joined by my co-host, the world's most attractive DeLorean time machine driver, Mark Time Runner Shields, and the guest host of Arcade Radio this week, Mr. Whitney Roberts. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Glad to be here. Appreciate you working with me schedule-wise. So glad to be sitting in.
We have plenty of people wanting to be on this show. You know, we just fill in when we don't need you.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Glad to have you aboard. So the first segment of the show is we do a little warm-up and talk about what we've been working on. Just, you know, we're all in the hobby. Maybe you're just doing podcast stuff. Maybe you're working on a machine. You know, we keep this part a little bit short. Just warm up a little bit. Mark, why don't you tell us what's going on?
Sure. With me, I have been enjoying the allergies in Texas and learning about, oh, you're not sick. You just have allergies and then all that stuff. And so that's been fun for me. I have also been doing a lot of time traveling. I have stuff in San Antonio, Austin, and Vegas coming up. And I don't think any of them conflict with a Thursday show. So that's a lot of good stuff. That's going to be fun. One of them is, I think, involves beer. And the other two are convention type things. But nice. Very busy from this Ready Player One business that's going along here.
Okay.
So are you just getting invited to bring the DeLorean everywhere then? And
well, I have a site, timemachinerental.com, and people find that.
Time Machine Rental. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that, Whitney, but I own a replica time machine from Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet.
And I own the screen used van from Napoleon Dynamite, the orange van that the uncle is driving.
Yeah, Uncle Rico. Yeah,
right.
That's actually pretty strong if you got Uncle Rico's van.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I like that. So Whitney's thinking that's pretty strong. I'm going to put that in. You know, that's I'm putting that one in the book.
Do that.
I'm not working on any games. I don't think. I have a lot of stuff on my DeLorean that I want to fix and replace, and it's all similar to arcade. There's a lot of electronics in there as well that are props, but that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Whitney, what are you doing? What have you been working on lately in the hobby?
Ah, man. You know, I'll tell you what. It's mostly two-prong. Of course, I have my own podcast, and that's a monthly deal that me and my co-host Brent do. But everything outside of that, outside the podcast I've been working on is related to Skyskipper. We're working through the latest part of that project, and I'm sure we'll get into that, you know, deeper as the show goes on. But we've got a conversion kit that we're working on for board owners, and my teammate Alex and I have been entrenched in that for a bit. So we're making progress on it. So it's all good fun.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll talk a little bit about that more later.
Sure. Sounds good.
So I guess it's my turn now.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Well, last weekend there was an arcade swap meet here in Minnesota. It was pretty cool. A bunch of guys brought parts and bought and sold and traded parts all weekend. Well, for a day over at Paradise Arcade, actually. So
inside or outside? What was the weather like?
It was freezing and it was supposed to be a snowstorm, but it didn't snow. And then we were inside, so it wasn't bad at all. And then, so I got a few things that are kind of cool. I got a Willis control panel overlay for Donkey Kong. That's in pretty decent shape. And then I got an original uncopyrighted Nintendo control panel overlay. So I'm going to mount those on the wall side by side so you get to see the ugly Willis art and the real Nintendo art. I also got in the box a Pac-Man Plus conversion kit, complete with sticker instructions. And the what do you call it? The little chips that you replace on the daughter board.
Chiclets?
The little chiclets.
Chiclets?
Yeah, those little
buggers.
Those little integrated circuits.
Like gum?
Yeah. So I got the chips, I got the instructions, and the box says Pac-Man Plus kit on it. It's straight from Ballet Midway. So I might like unfold the whole thing and then mount all of it on the wall instead of putting it inside a machine.
I know. I feel like that about my Journey MP3 kit. I feel like I should find like a deep frame and then just put it out there.
You know, it's funny. They do make a little shadow box
what?
frame you can buy. just go over to Michael's, and it's about 1.5 inches thick.
Oh, I thought you were saying that
No.
Armitage somehow decided to make a shadow box.
I could say I made
I
one
was thinking
specific.
it might be something specific for just that cassette player, which that'd be pretty neat.
Are you talking about mounting the cassette player or the kit?
Just the kit, because it's so beautiful. I have the laser etched version of it.
The blue one? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you buy one?
No, I don't have a Journey.
So, well, I don't have a Journey either, but I have the thing.
I think a lot of people have Journey, just different pieces and parts of Journey. How about that?
It's weird.
I think I have more quantum parts than I have Journey.
Oh,
parts.
yeah. I've got my fair share of quantum parts as well, so yes. But I have no quantum.
Right.
I also got a Arkanoid bezel for a conversion kit that went into like Centipede and Atari Centipede and Tempest cabarets. So it's a cabaret size Arkanoid marquee, which is kind of cool. And then I got a wide body Mario Brothers what do you call it? Bezel. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I didn't pay more than $10 a piece for any of this stuff. I got like
that's a good deal. It came out okay.
Got a Karnov marquee because that game is ridiculous and the marquee is funny. So I'm not going to ever get the game, but I might hang the thing on the wall.
I always loved the animation of that game.
Yeah,
I just thought the way that Karnov moved and everything, it was just really... It was really ingenious, and the music was good too. So I
agree. That's fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's about. I got one other marquee. I can't remember what it is. And then I sold a bunch of stuff. I got rid of some stereo equipment. I sold an extra Tempest board set I had. So that's going to good use somewhere now. And I sold it for $50. It doesn't work, but $50 is a great price, and you can get it fixed. So. But yeah, I had it was a good time. And then this week I got a PS4, so I've been consumed by Battlefront 2.
Oh, do you get to pick a character that you get to play, or is it just a random thing?
You get to pick a class of character when you play the multiplayer mode. But if you are playing campaign, you start out as a specific character. Actually, start out as a little tiny robot, and then you make your way into. Yeah, I won't tell, but anyway, it's a fun storyline so far, and there's a cameo by Luke Skywalker, and there's a cameo with it's not Mark Hamill, but Billy Dee Williams does reprise his role as Lando Calrissian, so that's kind of fun. Anyhow, enough about that. You think maybe it's time to? Are we going out of order here?
I moved the voicemail up to the beginning.
All right,
of the show
let's do that.
Forget about it.
All right. Yeah, let's see if we got a call. Oh yeah, we do have a call. All right.
We got a call.
Hey, Arcade Radio homeboys. It's your buddy, Bob Zarzadak, control panel expert and technician. I'm coming at you live from the new Cobra Kai Karate Training Dojo. I'm actually fighting somebody right now. Her name is Esmeralda. She's supposedly a black belt. Hey, shut up! Hey, yes, did you see that Ralph Macchio Karate Kid kick thing in my face? Can you do that? Hey, okay, here goes, Adam and Mark. You listen, okay? I'm totally good. Oh, man! I can't feel my feet. I gotta go. There's that gal. Oh my God.
We didn't even get a question from Bob. He got kicked in the throat or something.
I mean, do we need to stop and get that guy some help or anything? I mean, he sounded like he was in a pickle.
That's one of the best calls.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Oh, he's been on a journey. He's so how he ended up in that dojo, I don't know.
The Cobra Kai Dojo.
They're bringing that show back. Did we talk about that last week?
Yes, we did.
Oh,
it's very timely. I wonder. I'm glad he thought of that.
That's funny. Oh, let's move on to the arcade news. What do you say?
Yeah.
It's the Arcade News.
News with Adam Stevens.
Yeah, that's the news cue. So via Polygon, Nintendo respects its own strange past with the new Super Mario Odyssey outfits. Did you guys hear about this Super Mario Odyssey thing?
I have not. Tell me more.
It's a brand new game. And apparently there's a lot of Nintendo news in here for some reason today. But anyway, it's kind of like what is the weird Super Mario game that came out for the Wii? They made two of them. Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy. So apparently this is kind of like the sequel to that. So they're going to add these two new outfits in the game shop, which is they're pretty basic, and one of them's a baseball uniform apparently. And I did not know this, but Nintendo of America was like the owner of the Seattle, like the primary majority owner of the Seattle Mariners. Did you guys know that? I did not know that.
No, I did not know that. That's news to me.
It's weird.
That is news.
You know. So I just thought it was kind of an oddball piece of news. And then there's this weird space version of him. So via VentureBeat, Far Cry 5 arcade fans have already remade Battle Royale and Counter-Strike maps, which is just mind-boggling. The game came out on Tuesday. And I don't know if you guys are a fan of Far Cry, but the first one was amazing. I think the third one is pretty good, and so maybe every other is good. But the fifth one, people have already made maps for it. Via Nintendo Life, Tozai Games has surprised everyone by releasing Lode Runner Legacy on the European Switch. Now, this is actually kind of cool. I was playing Lode Runner on the Nintendo Entertainment System just on Monday. And so this grabbed my eye, and this just came out. And apparently Lode Runner was the first video game to have its own level editor. So I don't know if you guys remember, but Broderbund was the creator of this game, and now it's been released on this European Switch eShop. So I'm hoping it comes to America. Maybe that'll give me a reason to buy a Switch. I'm just kidding. There's all kinds of good reasons to buy a Switch, and that's not it. So anyway, and then via Twinfinite, you may have thought Punch-Out got its start on the NES if you're a noob, but the series actually began in arcades. And of course, the Nintendo fans in the room will know that Punch-Out was a Nintendo title that has two monitors and it is really, really cool. So the original Punch-Out will be coming to the Nintendo Switch eShop as well later this month in Japan. So that we probably will see a US release for that sometime soon, which I thought was pretty dang cool. And the last piece of arcade radio news that I have today is via Arcade Radio, and I was browsing around on the Amazons, and I came across this Game Boy alarm clock, and apparently it's like legitly, it's licensed and everything. So you can enjoy the perfect start to every day and never be late for your next adventure with this fantastic Game Boy alarm clock. Wake up to memories of your favorite Nintendo characters. So, yeah, really kind of cool. It looks exactly like a Game Boy. The buttons are functional. You can, set the alarm and have different characters show up on the display, apparently. So, that's, I think that's all pretty good. That's, I kind of went through the news awfully quick. Do you have any
assortment of news?
Yeah, it's just, it's sort of weird, news of the weird, if you will.
News of the weird.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that brings us to our next segment there.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin quarter mile.
Back to the cave with Time Runner.
Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Yes, there is a problem.
That was Uncle Rico. That was awesome.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah. Well, we got to throw him in there for me. So
Yeah.
Well, and there is a time machine element in Napoleon Dynamite. It's one of my favorent scenes.
Yeah, I know. Poor Chip never got it to work right, though. I mean, he almost killed himself.
you don't even know. I want to buy one of those. I mean, I think it's just a plastic box with crystals, but
I think it's great. Napoleon's like,
Yeah.
kills.
It's a fantastic movie, man. Cult classic.
I love the thing about that movie, and people get this wrong all the time, is Napoleon never takes the Lord's name. No one in that movie takes the Lord's name in vain.
No, it's totally a G-rated movie.
Yeah, it's
Totally G-rated.
So it's like, gosh, and when people try to imitate him and they do God, that's not right. You're not listening. You didn't get it. The whole point is that they're like in this weird rural throwback community where nobody swears. So,
nope.
it's
even that much more funny. I mean,
yeah.
The whole thing with the farmers and where they were drinking the eggs after working all day and stuff is like, it's tough to watch, but very, very funny.
Oh, I thought you were going to go, it reminds me of home. Or like, what?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I'm good on that.
That's funny.
Reminds me of home.
Okay, so let's get into this. Our date that we're going back in time to, March 29th, 1986, a mere 32 years ago. In the arcades, Ikari Warriors, a vertically scrolling run-and-gun shoot-'em-up, developed by SNK, was published in North America and Europe by Trade West. Released this month. It was originally titled Ikari Fury in Japan. It was the first major breakthrough U.S. release for SNK. The 2-player mode. Have you ever played your Ikari Warriors with those rotary joysticks, Whitney?
I can't say that I have, man. I mean, I remember playing Ikari Warriors back in the day in the arcade, but it's not a game that I see very often. And when I have seen it, they look pretty beat up, and they just don't look right to me. So I have a hard time. Quite honestly, I'd have a hard time saying what's actually right for Ikari Warriors.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if I see yellow controls that twist, I mean, that would probably be my only tell, I think.
Yep.
Well, that was all I had for arcade news. It was really a slow month in 1986. But at the box office, Police Academy 3 Back in Training was holding on to the top spot for a second week in a row. What was your guys' favorite Police Academy movie? Or
I think I really liked 7.
7?
I don't remember. Man, it's a running joke on my show. I see no movies. I've seen no culturally relevant movies at all. So I can't even say I've seen any of those. So shame on me.
I think only the first movie was good, and all the others were just lame imitations. So
yeah, that's
right. How I'm gonna answer.
Yep, probably right.
Says the Malbec drinker.
Yes. Oh, such good Malbec, everybody. Probably from Target. I'm not sure. Anyway, on TV, on ABC, we had The Love Boat. On CBS, we had Airwolf. And NBC capped off their must-see TV evening with a fresh episode of Remington Steele. Which,
excellent,
to me, was like James Bond every Thursday night.
Just not as cool. But yeah.
Not as cool, but it's weird that he became James Bond, which is kind of strange.
He did.
Yeah, that's irony for us right there, isn't it?
Quite.
Yes.
They never could fit Stephanie Zimbalist into the movies. It was very upsetting.
You guys do know that he was offered the role and couldn't because of Remington Steele, right?
Yes, they decided to pick up the season, even though the show had basically been, his ability to get in there. Who got James Bond in that case? Was that Dalton? Timothy Dalton?
Yeah. And he had some terrible writers. I liked him as Bond, though. I thought he was good. Just thought.
Did you really? Yeah. You like Dalton as Bond?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to fight?
Yeah.
Do you want to fight?
I liked. You want to fight? Fight? No.
No, I think it was a great Bond. I think he had crappy stories. I mean, why is Wayne Newton a bad guy? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he was probably one of the most underutilized Bonds. How about that? I just don't think he got enough of a run to really grow into his own.
I also think that he was sort of a throwback in a way because he came on in the late 80s, early 90s, right? Maybe just the late 80s. I can't remember. So, and his hair was large, even for the 80s, he looked a little bit more like a 70s guy. So, but as an actor, I find him to be a fine actor, and I really enjoyed him as a Bond. But this isn't about James Bond, is it? I mean,
it's not.
It could be, but it probably shouldn't be. How about that?
Oh my gosh, I went to that concert. Okay,
there would be some good James Bond video games if they could just focus.
Right.
I mean, what, GoldenEye?
Yeah.
I loved GoldenEye.
Hmm.
You didn't like that one, huh?
Never played it one time.
I
Whitney, play GoldenEye ever?
No, I have not. I have
Ah.
not. I mean, I've heard so much about it, but I never played it back in the day at all. So
Okay, 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Now we're gonna.
This is a deep cut.
Just before the interview begins, we have one last segment. It's called "What's in the Juke."
Oh yeah, and we love to play the intro song for that, right, Mark? I love to watch your facial expression. Shakes his head.
We do not love
blushes.
to play the intro song.
It's so
Adam has
funny.
like a super jumbo-sized version of it.
Hello
Which
and
we will
welcome
never
to
play.
What's in the Juke.
No.
I have no idea. I'm drawing total blank.
So, that's the intro music.
Yeah, that's just the terrible intro to the
Oh,
segment.
the terrible intro.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was a
gotcha.
bumper.
Okay, all right.
If you know what that is, you win. You win.
How about that?
Yeah. If you could guess that song, that would be amazing. But I think it's like
that would
free.
That would be exactly. That would be impressive.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
can't do that, fellas. Sorry.
Okay.
This
So
is going to
we've
be
got
interesting.
10 songs,
Yeah.
fairly randomly selected. There's some real jewels in here, and there's a couple stinkers.
Oh man, I'll have to play a couple of these.
Adam's in charge of the audio, so
Well, and while I should have been populating the jukebox with the songs, I was busy screwing around with audio and video. So
right, so we could get our dual stream going.
the lucky thing is that every one of these songs you picked again for the third week in a row is in my collection. So
Yeah.
I don't have to go out on the YouTubes and find it because it was in the top
own
10.
It. That's an amazing collection if you own all this stuff.
Yeah, I think I mentioned before, I have like 40,000 tracks. I used to DJ, so
Whoa. Ooh.
yeah. So I have a fair number of tracks.
40,000 tracks. Wow. How much space does that take up, man?
Not much. I mean, I have a 2 terabyte drive and it doesn't take up that much.
Yeah. Okay.
So, it depends on how much you compress them. I actually don't compress them much. I put them at 320.
Yeah.
So
That's pleasing.
yeah,
You'd be driving through a Chevy Colorado at a high rate of speed in 5th gear, and I wouldn't even notice the compression.
Are the chatters antsy to play?
Well, S1500 says he could have won last week's episode if he wasn't in Japan.
Ooh, this is a really good song.
Okay. The first one?
No, well, actually, most of these are really good, but the last one there's a couple of deep tracks here. So
Deep Tracks.
Deep Tracks by Jack Handy.
By what? Oh, that's the Saturday Night Live character, yes.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Chatters, are you ready? Refresh your windows right now.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
So we have, do we have some of the regulars in there? Or are they all hanging out in YouTube right now?
Well, there's about 10 people on Twitch. I had to close YouTube because I was starting to slow down.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. You can just leave it the way it is. All right, we're going to play the first track here. I actually just went to their concert not long ago, last weekend, or 2 weekends ago. So. That's a long play there. Maybe a little too long. But Kelsey's
I'm
not in
watching
there.
2 windows at the same time.
Mr. Casey Relford is not in here. Oh, is that him?
Yes, he is. He's in YouTube.
Oh, he's in the wrong channel.
And answered. Nobody said anything.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, we're participating on Twitch today, so we're multicasting because we can. We're streaming on 2 channels, one on YouTube and one on Twitch. OMD, if you leave, that's 1,500.
S1500 got it. He beat Casey on the YouTube side.
He gets a full point for that, or it's a 1 point for.
Oh, let's see.
It's a full point.
It's a full point, and you get a half point. Are we just doing 2 points per thing to make it easier?
No, not until the end.
Oh yeah, because we got to up the price, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, S1500 says he had tickets to see them, but his friend showed up too late. Ugh. Well,
I would have gone in and said, "Hey, I stuck them underneath a car. You go get them from there."
Yeah, it was an amazing show. So, if you leave, that was from Pretty in Pink. No, yes, no, that was from. Was that from Pretty in Pink?
I don't know.
Yeah,
sounds like it.
Yeah, Pretty in Pink. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, orchestral maneuvers in the dark. Okay. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not looking this up on.
No, it's fine
Search at all. So I don't want to cheat.
Here we go. Next track.
OMG. Got it.
This one might be low. Is that the right one? I pulled the wrong one, didn't I?
Sounds right.
I'm going to leave that and see if anybody gets it.
No, that's it.
No way.
That we've had clips shorter than that, and people get it.
Do they?
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
That's pretty impressive.
Mike and the
Agent
Mechanics. Agent 83 got it. Now,
Agent
what
X
song is
Casey.
it? He gets half point unless he gets the other part of it.
Well, he answered with Mike and the Mechanics.
And we are waiting. Casey. Aha.
Yes. There might be a longer delay on the Twitch.
I love Agent X. 83.
Agent X, the game?
No, yeah, it's a great game. All I need is a
All
miracle.
I need is a Mirkali.
Mercalli. Perfect.
Okay, he got it.
He got it, yeah.
Casey's on the board now at 1 point. 8 more songs to go. Merkel.
Longest intro to a song.
Still going.
Will they ever sing?
No. I really like that song.
It's a great song. That album is great.
It is. Yeah, it's a good song.
All right, here we go. See if that's a tough one. 2 seconds I played. I'll play it again. Oops, played a little extra that time.
You can hear that guitar lick, where he's just at the beginning. That is the intro, S1500, correct. You may need a little bit more, I don't know. Casey missed it. I guess keep going.
All right, I'll play it again.
I don't know why.
Here we go. And the chatters are
Again.
Heart?
Ooh.
Are you kidding?
Swing and a miss.
If you own arcade games, this is a very standard arcade related
Swing bada.
Can it? He can it. He can it. He
Hey.
can it.
Hi, puppy.
They're still asking if it's heart. I'm like, it's not heart.
Wait,
Wow, there's a long delay. I don't know if we can play this play this game on Twitch.
where's Randall? Well, he's probably trapped in YouTube, wondering where everybody is.
Well, I could jump over there.
This is a hard song, even if you're a big fan of the band. Journey is correct. Or Junie. Or Johnny. Oh, Randall's on family vacay. Yeah, well, you do have to do that every once in a while.
Right. I think we're gonna have to just hang it up if nobody can guess it, because we gotta get to our guest.
Nope, Only the Lonely is incorrect. Be good to yourself. Here comes the next one.
Okay.
Well, this one's tough too. I'm gonna go to the middle. Here we go.
It's not. Oh yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know. Close, but no, it wasn't Rockin' America. Just good to yourself. Pet Shop Boys. West End Girls. Casey got it. Full
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Casey, you're the man.
In a western town, a dead end world, the East End boys and West End girls.
And Ryan got it shortly after, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so this one is. I'm only gonna play the intro on this one.
Tried to say Kelsey. I'll learn to say it, Casey. Kelsey. I promise.
I did the same thing to him for like weeks.
Yeah, I'll work on it. Bart.
Anyone get this one?
We may have talked over it a little bit.
Sorry, that was me. I'm sorry.
Andrew.
Oh my goodness. Andrew Baldwin.
Andrew Baldwin. Collins got it. It wasn't Genesis. It was Collins. Yeah. Sweet. Phil Collins. The next one. 1 second.
It sounded like some keys jingling.
I'll play it real loud here. Yeah, there's some serious lag going on between the comments.
Yeah, there must be.
It's like Ryan has got to be close to 10 seconds behind everybody else, if not more. More, he says, more. What is he, on his phone? No one is to blame, Andrew. You look at that. Oh, Ryan pulls ahead with, he gets both. So Andrew gets half point, and Ryan gets half point.
Wait, is Ryan S1500?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Sorry, Ryan, I busted you out. That was close, though. That was close. And Ryan's got the right idea. Just type the whole dang thing out, because, you know, if you wait to type the artist, you're going to be done.
Yeah, get it all in one line.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so that was great. That was just 1 second of the song. Can you believe that?
I'm pretty sure the radio they started with the good stuff.
Yeah, sorry, Ryan. I went to this concert too. It was awesome. All right.
Does he sound the same?
He sounds both OMD and Howard Jones. If you guys get a chance to see them, they sound exactly like they did in the 80s. They just sound wonderful.
Cool.
Unbelievable. Okay, here's this one. It's going to be another 2 seconder, and someone's going to get it.
Okay, good.
Oh, that's the outfield.
Oh, the guest got it. The guest got it. All right.
He's on the board.
But what's the name of the song? Hurry up.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Casey beat
know.
you. Casey beat you.
It's got Josie in it. I know that. So
Your
but
Love.
I don't think that's part of the title.
That's Your Love by the Outfield. That's great.
Okay, Your Love. Okay, yeah. Know the yeah. Know the song when you hear it.
All right, next one is why can't we hear this song? Okay, here we go.
Well, it's Van Halen. Why can't this be love?
Ah, yes.
So he's trumping our audience because they're like 20 seconds behind, but that's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's okay. I enjoy the guests that can, run with them. This is awesome.
There you go.
Casey gets a point though. He got it first.
Okay,
So,
I got it.
yeah.
Wait, I'm giving the point to Casey and not Whitney? All right.
Well, you can give one to Whitney, but
No fair. He's on point.
he gets, yeah, exactly. He gets 20-second. All right.
Yeah, it's way immediate.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll concede my points to the audience. How about that? And then they can everybody just fight amongst themselves. How about that?
Sounds good. Here we go. This is a tough one. It's a weird intro.
I swear it sounds like something from Peter Gabriel.
This is where they started on the radio. right here.
Right. Yeah, they definitely never started that.
Yeah. Here you go. I love that song.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Someone's going to get this. It'll be Casey, probably.
Let's see. We're just watching and waiting.
Who's Johnny?
That's right.
Casey got it from like a 2-second clip. And who's the artist? This is tricky. This is tricky because if you could answer wrong. Menudo.
No way.
No, it's not Menudo.
Oh, looks like Ryan got the other half.
Yep,
Isn't
Ryan
it
gets
really El DeBarge?
El DeBarge.
Wow.
Correct.
Yep. Oh, Short Circuit.
I can honestly say I've not heard that song.
Wow.
Wow.
There she goes and knows I'm dying when she says, "Who is Johnny?"
That's
Oh
from
my gosh. Wow.
Short
Johnny
Circuit.
That's right. Okay, so there's one song left, and then we'll get to our guest. And I think we should make this song worth 5 points.
All right, 5 points
And,
it is.
And Whitney can't guess because we'll try to make it fair.
Okay, sounds
Casey
good.
leads with 4.5 points. So he'll blow
Well,
it out
it's
the
I
water.
can't hear. Yeah.
He'll
I'm
blow
just
it
gonna-
out the water. Ryan has 2, and Andrew and Whitney are tied with 1.5.
I'm going to play just a random part of the song here. I don't know what I'm playing here, okay? There you go. That's
A Crack on the Sea. Yeah.
That's a pretty good clip right
That's a
there.
good one. Yeah. That's the second verse, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Whitney wins.
No, it is not.
Not Pretty in Pink.
No, not
but-
Menudo.
Not Menudo
What are we
again.
doing?
Casey's close. He has the right idea. His lizard brain is telling him right now that song has something to do with John Hughes,
Yes.
but not Pretty in Pink. Not Echo and the Bunnymen either. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh wow. No.
No, they didn't do it. They didn't do a cover of it.
You should start You should play the very. They still haven't figured it out.
Play the very beginning.
I have zero idea.
Or I'll play the very beginning. This is. Oh, that's a good guess too. But no.
That's pretty good.
The Water Boys is a good guess. It's been a while since I've heard them.
It was a great guess, not the right one.
Spandau Ballet. What?
That again, Lizard Brain. You were so close. 16 Candles. I'll give you that hint. Here we go.
Casey's probably going to get his wife.
He's calling in the ringer.
I didn't think this one would be hard. I've heard this song a lot.
So somebody has got to get it now.
Yeah, just
Some emo. Yeah,
no.
nice.
The emos didn't even exist.
No, there was no emos back then. Goth wasn't even around yet. Sorry.
Yeah, we didn't even know we were goth. British guys crying. No,
Oh my gosh.
I think we're gonna have to throw the towel in.
Andrew's having a little masculinity issue here.
What? Everybody cries.
Thompson
Twins.
Thompson twins. We got.
Be the Thompson twins, is it?
It is. Yep.
It is.
Oh, it is. Wow.
Yeah.
Kelsey, got it. Nailed
They got half.
Yep. And it just needs to get the name of the song.
Technically, Casey won.
I gave because even if he gets 2.5, he still wins, right?
It's over. Yeah.
If you were here, yes.
If you were your hero. Yes, that was it. So
That's
that
the
concludes What's in the Juke.
That's the
Play that.
closing song and 16 Candles. We should tell them.
Play that little bumper. Da, 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 da. That's the end of What's in the Juke.
No.
Aw. It's terrible. Okay,
Casey's like,
let's do
sweep
an
the
interview.
leg, Johnny. It's time for an interview or something. What do you say about that?
Do it.
All right, let's ready to do this. Wait, we have an intro for you too, somewhere around here. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I don't often get intro music, so I'll take it.
Here you go.
As long as it's flattering and catches my good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drum roll. Here you go. There you go. Welcome to the show, Whitney Roberts.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Good to be here. Appreciate it.
Boy, you didn't think it'd take it that long to get here. We still have a whole hour to interview this guy if we want.
Oh my goodness.
I went through the news really fast.
As Kelsey, I have no problem filling an hour, so it's all good.
Kelsey. I love it. He does it too. He probably gets that all the time. So
that I do.
Let's go with the first one. The first question that we ask a lot of our collector guests. Give us your arcade origin story. How did you become the arcade hobbyist you are today?
Okay, that's a good question. So, just real quick, background on me. I mean, I grew up in the country, grew up on a farm, and so going to the arcade was a weekend excursion for my little brother and I. And we would go to a local arcade while my mom was at the grocery store. And so she would drop us there, go right next door to the grocery store. And that's back at a time when parents could do that and they could trust that their kids would be okay. And my brother and I would take a weekly allowance and spend it in this arcade. And then that we went to is called the Galaxy of Games. I'll never ever forget the place. It was in a
mall, or where was it? A grocery store?
No, it was right next to a grocery store.
Okay.
Yeah, just like next door to a grocery store.
Galaxy of Games.
In the same shopping center.
Well, that's interesting. There's a website called Galaxy of Games now.
Yeah, and I doubt I'll have to look at it. I doubt it's the same one by any means, but this one was neat. It was the epitome of what you would think an arcade back in the early 80s would look like. It was one long bowling alley like room, and it was dark, and it had pinballs on one side and all the games that I've now been able to hunt down on the other side, and you just walk around and play. It was fantastic. It had a soda fountain in the back, and it had the little press board, high score board, and all that kind of stuff. So
fun.
I mean, I didn't really get to play a lot of games, throughout the week. So for me, gaming was a weekend. It was a weekend treat, and it just made an instant impression on me, and I've carried it forward pretty much my entire life.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So to dovetail off that one, let's talk about your collection then. So you have this collection of games that's kind of based off the games from that particular arcade. So what was the first one you went after?
Beyond a shadow of a doubt, easy to answer, Donkey Kong. It was literally the very first game that I remember walking up to and putting a quarter in, and that game just immediately it just fired off something in my brain, and everything else just kind of compared to that. And I know that may sound like a bit of a cliched answer in today's circles, but I mean it is the truth. I mean I'm answering you 100% honestly. It was Donkey Kong caught me from quarter one, and then everything else is just kind of built off that. I even remember seeing the girders and everything floating in what looked like midair because the whole arcade was dark, and I couldn't tell that it had a TV screen, and it was just magic to me. It was awesome.
Very
Never
cool.
forget it.
So Donkey Kong is actually the first game that I ever laid hands on in a pizza parlor, and so that wasn't the first game I went after. but it was the first game I played, and it was a red
Yeah.
one actually.
Yeah.
So was yours a blue or red? Do you remember if it was a red cabinet?
That one was blue.
Okay.
Most certainly blue. And I had no idea about the nuances of red versus blue and
Me neither,
the different
yeah.
colors of the Nintendo cabinets until getting a bit more steeped into the hobby. All I ever saw was blue and orange, Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., and that was it, and Popeye.
Yeah.
So that is all I ever saw.
Awesome. So then from there, your collection grew. What did you go after that?
I will freely admit that early on into my time in the hobby, I was not very discerning at all. I mean, I went through a phase where emotion ruled, and I just wanted to establish my collection, and I never went after what I would consider kind of trash games or anything like that, but I certainly picked up games that I thought, okay, I'll put these in the restore queue. I'll work on them later. It's a game that I would like to have, but some of them, well, actually quite a few of them, I just didn't. I found out later on I just didn't really have a lot of passion for. So I've been on a go where I'm trying to kind of cull it down a little bit now as well. So
all right, well, so that's cool. So let's go through what you have, and then we're going to talk about the one you mentioned earlier last. So
fair enough.
Sky Skipper is one of the reasons we brought you here, and so let's talk about that one last. But everything else, run down the line and tell us what those mean to you a bit too, if you don't mind. Give us a little bit of background on why you chose those games.
Yeah, sure. So I'll talk about the games that I have, I guess, some fondness for, or that I plan on, I guess, kind of keeping in the arcade long term. First and foremost, all the Nintendo games that I have, and that's Donkey Kong and Jr. and Popeye and Donkey Kong 3 and Punch Out and so on down the line. So R-Type and a few others, Versus Cabinet and so on. And then of course Sky Skipper. We'll certainly get to that. But on the arcade side, gosh, Mad Planets, Zookeeper, Food Fight, Robotron, Sinistar, Pole Position. I've got a Pole Position cockpit. It stays. Gyrus, Miss Pac-Man, Centipede, Missile Command. I've got close to 50 games, and that's probably the reason why I need to call some of them down. So if I rolled through my entire collection, I'd be here for a bit, but it's one of those things where after being in the hobby for a while, you tend to figure out what you like versus what you don't really want to keep. Oh, Satan's Hollow, that's definitely a keeper. My Tron's going to be a keeper for sure. Rally X, that's a keeper. So a lot of I've got quite a few Atari Vectors, and I'm going to wind up keeping a few of those as well, but I don't think I'll keep all of them. In fact, I've got a Star Wars I'm probably going to sell at some point soon. So that one will probably be on the block. It's an upright, but I think it's about time for it to go.
Right. Well, I mean, your timing couldn't be better considering the market's up. And, if you had decided to thin your herd out 5 years ago, you probably wouldn't be able to afford that vacation or new car or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild because if I go back I've got a spreadsheet where I keep track of what I pay for all my games. And if I go back and look at what I paid for, I'll just pick one out of thin air, like my Food Fight versus what they bring now. It's wild. I mean, I never would have thought it, but I guess it's good if I ever wanted to get rid of it. But Food Fight stays. That's a keeper too.
That's a keeper too, and I'm assuming it's an upright and not a cocktail.
It is an upright. Yes.
Okay.
It is an upright. Yeah. It's in good shape too. I was very fortunate when I found it. So it's a fun game. I love it.
Awesome. Hey, welcome back, Adam.
What?
Yeah, we on the stream, your video actually never stops, so we got to see your empty chair for like 4 minutes.
I had a problem in the kitchen.
It's okay.
Oh, that's because it's going off my camera.
You're okay, man. That's good.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I had to go to the bathroom, really.
Oh, I see. No, that was a great list of games, and
it works so much better with audio. Why is Bob Zarzanek in there?
Bob Zarzadek likes to chat with people. So I hear.
Yeah, Bob's in.
That's weird.
Bob's in.
Wonder if his neck's okay. Hey, I'm gonna ask him.
Wait, what's your Whitney? What's your like game that you need to get in there that you've been looking for? Like, do you have like a top 3 of those?
You know, Mark, I'll say that, I don't, man, every time I answer this question, I feel like it's kind of a deflating answer.
Uh-oh.
But quite honestly, I've gotten pretty much everything that I have set out to get. I would say the only thing, there you go. Yes, I do not have a Hellifier. I would definitely like to get a Hellifier, no doubt. I'll take my finger and point it right there at the camera, okay? Because Hellifier, I want that Hellifier. But at this point, really the only things that are outstanding for me are a couple of older Nintendo titles, and I would gladly hop up off of some of my other games in order to find a few of those. But I'm not, I'm at this point in my collection where I'm not actively hunting anything. It's like if it comes around, it'll come around. But I'm not beating the streets every day like I used to for several years. And I'll tell you, that's how I built my collection. I mean, if you hit the streets and hit them hard, you'll find your games.
Right.
But then after a while, I just got tired of driving around. It's like, okay,
right.
I'm done.
But maybe you're now in a fortunate spot where, like, somebody, this is what happens to me, somebody just mentions my name on social media when they see whatever it is I'm looking for, and then that way, like, all my scouts go and find it for me.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very fortunate. That's how I found my Gorf, and I through a local Facebook group, and I had somebody that I know at my daughter's school, and then also a family member. They both contacted me and said, "Hey, here's a Gorf. You ought to go get it." And I contacted the guy and had it within a couple of days. So I think we've all got stories like that. But
I love that.
They just don't happen often enough. How about that?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next on our list of questions is we're going to ask you a little bit about the broken token.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I'll answer any question I can. So yeah, fire away.
Well, I guess in general, what is it to some of our guests who may not know that?
Oh, okay. So that's a podcast. We're a monthly podcast that me and my co-host Brent Griffith, we do that show, and we're a bit of a long format podcast, and we've been going for, I'd say, almost the past 5 years. We're between 4 and 5 years now, up to like episode 60, I think 65 or so. Mm-hmm. And so, and like I say, we're monthly format, and so we don't try to beat anybody's schedule, or we don't try to beat everybody else at their own game or anything like that. We've settled into a format and settled into a schedule that both Brent and I and our families can live with, because as you guys know, I mean, this takes time, and it takes time away, from everything else. But we love it. It's a lot of fun. Early on, we tried to, and I think we were better at this early on, focusing on local collectors and doing interviews with people that's in our geography, in our area, and things like that. We've been wanting to try to get back to that, but we're a fairly technical show. I mean, we talk about a lot of technical topics. And then we also do current news and things like that. And we split our time kind of 50-50 between pinball and arcade as well, because for as much as I love the arcades, I love the pinballs as well. And so Brent's a big pinball guy, as am I. And so we kind of I guess teeter-totter back and forth, just depending upon the month and where our interests have gone that month. But that's us. I mean, we can be found at brokentoken.com, and that's the website. It's kind of a running blog, and it's got all the episodes up on the website. And yeah, would appreciate everybody giving us a listen and an iTunes rating and all that. But that's us.
That's a great URL.
Thank you. Yes, you know what? I'll tell you. Thank you for saying that. Getting a good URL, you've got Arcade Radio. I like that. It's easy to say. It's one word, and it's not going to get lost amongst all the other URLs. And it's hard to find a good URL. So yeah.
So your partner's name is Brent, is that right?
It is, yeah, Brent Griffith. So he's local to me, and we're both here in Louisville, Kentucky, and so we get together and we record. It's funny, we record in Brent's basement, and
Nice, yeah.
and yeah, we're audio only, so we haven't graduated to doing the Twitch or the YouTubes or anything like that. So yeah, we're all old school, just like our games. So.
And do you record and then play, then upload it, or is there a live stream?
Right now it is totally recorded and then uploaded.
Nice.
And we usually release at the end of the month. And so in fact, I've got the next episode that'll probably drop either later tonight or tomorrow night, but definitely by the weekend. So that's how we do it, and that's how we've done it since day one. And we have talked about doing some live stream shows, and I think we'll eventually get there. But Brent and I we're codgy old dudes at this point, and we like to say get off our lawn, and we do our show, and I think it would be great fun to do it live and to have a chat and stuff like that. And I think we'll give that a shot at some point. But right now it's just audio only, old school. So
Yeah.
that's that.
Well,
Yeah.
until this week, we were audio only.
Yeah.
But
no, you guys are doing good. I mean, the setup seems like it works well. I like it.
well, it's totally hodgepodge.
all good, man.
We're lucky
If it works,
it's working
it
tonight. We've had worse episodes. I'll tell you that. So.
Yeah, our start was pretty rough as well. It takes a little while to get into a rhythm, but we've got it down pretty good.
It does.
I think so at this point.
All right. So did we talk about Sky Skipper, or did I skip that because we didn't finish up with it?
Oh no, man. If you guys want to talk about it now, let's talk about it now.
Let's talk about it.
game.
Yeah.
So let's just assume our audience is peripherally aware of Sky Skipper, but if we could just give the brief summary and then jump to where you are with kids and artwork for the lucky folks that are able to find a particular board. And, it'd be cool to hear some of the parameters around that, because I need to start going to dig through my PCBs and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah. So I can just kind of take a few minutes and catch everybody up, I guess, to where we are current status. We've done the U.S. reveal. We did that at the Southern Fried Game Room Expo June of last year, and then we did the UK reveal back in the October timeframe of 2017. And so my partner Alex Crowley, my friend, a good friend Alex Crowley, living over in the UK. He and I have been on this journey for, a little over. Well, I say a little over. Time gets a little warped, but definitely over somewhere between 2.5 years, I guess. If I look back on when we first started talking about this and getting the project together and everything like that, we've done the reveals, and I'm sure you guys have seen some of the videos on probably John's Arcade, his YouTube channel. He's featured us. He's been very gracious to do that, both here stateside as well as in the UK. And at this point, we've got a lot of the, I guess the public, I guess I'll use kind of air quotes. We've got a lot of the public stuff with Sky Skipper kind of behind us now, because all the hoopla is kind of moved on, and everybody's seen the game at this point and everything like that. So, we've accomplished primarily what we set out to do, which was get the game back in the public eye, fulfill our commitment, our promise to Nintendo that we would do it in as complimentary of a fashion towards the game as we possibly could. And right now, it's really more so about completing the SkyskipperProject.com website and documenting as much of the game's history as we possibly can. So anything and everything that we learn about the game, we're committed to getting it up on the project website. And yes, you did comment about the kits, and we do have the art completed. And we're probably going to be throwing in one or two little extra pieces that have not been seen before with the finalized art kits. But we do have, and I will go ahead and say this, and it is public knowledge. It's up on the website. We do have the 12 folks slotted in for the 12 kits that we are going to produce. So at this point, we've we've got everybody that we can take. Now, that doesn't preclude, if you find a board, we'll be more than willing to work with you on history and documentation, and we do have a PCB registry that we're running on the website. We would love nothing more than to get the boards continue to be documented and get them documented and continue that process. But as far as what we talked about with Nintendo and what they have sanctioned us or approved us to do, we're full up at this point. So we're going to do the 12 art kits that we talked to them about, and that they agreed would be okay for us to do, and then we're going to shut it down and call it that. So there will be more Sky Skippers. There'll be at least our 2, and then the 12 out there, and then hopefully everybody can see those and get to play those at shows or something like that. Now, what happens after that? I mean, I'm sure other stuff will turn up, but that'll be out of our hands, and it won't be us working with Nintendo on that. So.
Okay, cool. So that artwork is safe. It's not going to just get deleted when the 12th one is printed or something like that. Okay.
No, not at all. Not at all. That goes into the project archives, and we'll then turn that back over to Nintendo, and then see what they decide that they may want to do with it. Because quite honestly, they were good enough to us to allow us to come in and do what we did in scanning the cabinets and everything like that. And when we're done with this, we'll take the artifacts and we'll probably burn them to a DVD or something like that, and then turn them back to Nintendo, and then let them do with it what they will.
So that's a great story, but what is Sky Skipper? How did you even find out about it?
Well, it's an interesting story in that regard. I mean, going through MAME, and this is something that I think a lot of us collectors, including myself, are definitely guilty of. We've had MAME sitting on our computer. We've had MAME at our disposal for years and years, but you don't really take the time to dig through MAME and to realize just what a treasure trove of history that program really is. But it's one of those scenarios where Sky Skipper is a game that didn't really get I don't really think it got its due until this project came along, and I didn't really know the full history on it until I had started talking to my partner and teammate Alex. Because I'd seen it in MAME and had played it and had known that it was a Nintendo game, but I never saw it here stateside. I never really gave it much of a second thought. It was one of those scenarios where you see it, you ponder on it a little bit, and then you just kind of pass off on it until the next game or the next kind of shiny object kind of comes in front of you. But I'd seen the YouTube videos that Alex had done on the game, and he and I had started talking because he was on a podcast way back in the day, of course, with our podcast, and I reached out to him, and we just started this dialogue. And the more that he and I started to talk, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I've seen Sky Skipper. It's interesting. I'm really curious as to what you're going to do with it, and how far have you gotten on learning some of the history about the game. And the more we talked, the more we realized that there was a kindred interest in this, and we felt like if we kind of hooked up, that we could make something of this. So yeah, it was definitely a learning experience for me as well. So I can't pretend that I had any huge insight into the game, before starting on the project, because I just didn't, and I don't think a lot of people did.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm getting some commentary on the chat, so I'm also
it's all good.
I'm superimposing the skysskipperproject.com onto the screen right now, which is kind of fun. There, seeing images of the game and your story and things like that.
That's
so
great.
If you haven't been there, go to skysskipperproject.com. So, I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but how did you come to find out about this game in particular?
Well, I'll tell you, twofold. Just from doing some general research in MAME and through Nintendo, and then talking with Alex. And Alex.
So was this was a game that was made in Japan?
Yes,
Right.
it was coded and developed in Japan, and then it made its way over to Nintendo of America for going through the playtesting cycle.
But then it didn't go anywhere.
No, it did not playtest well through Nintendo, and from what our understanding is, they did some limited earn testing of the game in the Seattle and Redmond area, and probably Tacoma in the areas around Nintendo of America, because that's where it seems like a lot of the historical artifacts have kind of popped up over time.
Sure.
But yeah, so it did some limiting earn testing there, and I suppose it did not live up to whatever criteria or thresholds that NOA had for it.
Well, and
I'm sure they pulled the plug on it after that.
And Nintendo, I mean, NOA had troubles until Donkey Kong. I mean, they just weren't making a lot of money with their games, you know. And Radar Scope and some of those other games were really just knockoffs of other games, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
Sky
if you
Skipper's
go back
unique,
and look
though.
at Hellfire and Space Firebird, Space Launcher, and all of that, I mean, you're seeing games that we as collectors we really like. I mean, especially as a Nintendo person,
sure,
you really have some reverence for. But were they commercially viable, commercial successes? No, not even close. No.
And so it's interesting to me because this is kind of like the whole, dare I say, Polybius story, right, or whatever. So you have this game that supposedly exists, but nobody can find a version of it anywhere. And then you start doing, now the difference is that this is a legitimate game, and you suddenly can find artifacts, you know, ads and things like that lead you to find the game. And then you have these gentlemen that are inspired, like Alex and yourself, who then start reaching out to Nintendo and saying, look, help us out here. We want to do something cool, you know? And what's weird is they said yes.
Yeah, and that was a bit of a long process, and it certainly didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen on day one. And there was a lot of people kind of in the background helping Alex and I get to the point that we got to. So it was a team effort. There's no doubt about it. And even though Alex and I have, I guess, kind of run the front side of the Sky Skipper project, I mean, there has easily been 1, 2, 3. I can count off 8 or 9 people just right off the top of my head that we haven't put in the limelight or did not want to be in the limelight, that helped us navigate the waters of and around Nintendo and get to where we got to. So for me to sit here and say that just kind of do this and say, oh, Alex and I did it. Yeah, we did the impossible. I mean, maybe the impossible eventually got done, but it took a group of people in order to make it happen. So Alex and I don't want to speak for him, but I will say this, and I think he would agree with this. It does take a team to get stuff done, and it was probably one of the most satisfying team experiences, arcade experiences that I think I could probably ever have. It was just neat from beginning to end.
Casey says that's called pulling a Billy, Whitney.
Is that what that's called? Okay, we'll call that. We'll call that that. How about that?
I don't know. I can't believe I mentioned his name on the show again. If we can go one episode without saying Billy Mitchell.
Billy!
Dang it. Yeah, can't even go a second. Hey, Dolly's on.
Hey, Dolly, what's
Everybody
up?
say hey, Dolly.
He says
What's
hi,
up?
Dolly. Kentucky says.
Hello, Dolly.
Just out of curiosity, Whitney, did we meet somewhere else before, like MGC or Grinkers or something?
No, I have not been to Grinkers before. MGC, and I've not been to MGC either. It's funny. I mean, I've done shows all up and down the East Coast, but typically I do them like on vacation or over weekends and stuff, and I've just not made it out. I've not made it to MGC or West yet.
That was an unofficial interview question. So
Oh, is it? Okay, gotcha.
So are you working on an additional project like this, like Sky Skipper? Are you looking on another project?
Yeah, what's the next Sky Skipper?
You know, guys, I'll tell you, it's funny because I've been asked that, a couple of times, and truth to tell, I don't really know what the next Sky Skipper is because, we're not done with it yet, and I mean, even though we've done the reveals, we have made a commitment to the folks that have turned up PCBs that we're going to help them. That they have a legitimate claim to owning a piece of the game, and we've made a commitment to help those folks out and to try to pay it forward a bit as much as we can anyway. Working within the confines that Nintendo has approved us to work within, and so we've got to finish that. Yeah. And then once we're done there, guys, I don't know. I mean, quite honestly, I think I want to get back to fixing some of my games and play some pinball. If you want to know the truth of it.
What's your favorite pinball right now?
What's that? I'm sorry?
What's your favorite pinball right now?
My favorite pinball right now, I am going to say, you know what? I keep coming back to it time and time again, but it's Tron Legacy.
Oh, that's a good pin. That's a good pin.
Yes, it is, and I would say my love to play, and it's one that she gravitates towards, and we play it all the time.
Oh, that's the new Star Trek, the from the first movie.
From the Kelvin timeline. Yeah. It's right. from the reboots, from like the 2009 reboot forward. So it's Star Trek and Into Darkness. So
someone might be a Star Trek fan there. He says Kelvin timeline.
yes. I am a big Trekkie. No doubt about it. So Agent X83 says TNA, not TNA, and a bunch of question marks. And I'll say I absolutely love TNA, but I can't I can't count it until I potentially have it. Yes, that's Star Trek. Yes, that one. You got it, man. That one is absolutely awesome.
Yeah. So if you ever played the original Star Trek pinball machine, not as fun. Certainly
too slow.
Certainly
slow and lumbering
a beautiful game, but lots of things wrong with it. I'm a longtime Star Trek fan, though. All right, so this is a Star Trek question. Your favorite Star Trek movie from the original Star Trek series movies?
From the original, man, I would have to say either the original series or, well, if I have to answer, it would be.
Be honest. Wrath-a-Con.
I have to say the Wrath-a-Con. I do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic movie.
I do. I mean, the end. For me, the ending of the Wrath-a-Con is everything that makes Star Trek great.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And I can watch that time and time again, and will almost shed a tear every single time. Star Trek was a big thing for me growing up. It's near and dear to my heart. It's one of those properties that I just kind of gets you in the feels.
There you go.
That was awesome. I have this weird thing where
share this with you. Right
for
now.
some reason, I snuck a cassette tape recorder in with me to the movie when the first time I saw Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan, and I have a recording of the audience's reactions, and it is weird.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that was odd.
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet it is. Yeah, it still gets you every time. I love the original series too. I think that even though it was a little slow to start, I think it was a good story, and it was definitely a story that made a statement. I'll say that. So right. I liked it too.
Did you catch the new Star Trek Discovery?
I have not watched that yet. No, no, and because it's streaming only on CBS All Access.
So here's what I did. Let me tell you what you got to do. They have two versions.
I'm all ears.
They have the version where you get the commercials, or they have the version where it's not commercials. Both of them give you 1 week free. So what you should do is get the one without the commercials and just pile through it. I did. It is so good. I did binge it. I finished it in 3 days.
It's interesting. We have not discussed this. So you like Discovery?
I do. I was, Adam every week would make comments, and I would try to close my ears about whatever it was he was saying.
I didn't give any spoilers.
Some very unusual things that happen, which we can't talk about during this show. But Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I thought it was great.
Yeah, you can talk about it. You just can't say the word.
There are some words that are used that are very not normal in Star Trek.
Right.
Yeah, this much is true. This much is true.
I was, to be honest with you, I was completely disappointed that they used profanity on the new Star Trek because
They only did it in that one episode.
no, they did it twice. They did it twice.
Yeah, I guess, but I thought it was all during that same episode.
No, they have a later episode where she uses the
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, for me as a Star Trek fan, that actually kind of disappoints me because they have never had to do that, and there's no reason to me that they should.
I agree.
Well, so here's my thoughts on it. When I saw Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and it was like what 1978, and I was 9, and they used the H word, they used the D word,
They used hell on
it
the
was
original
shocking
series.
to me. I was like, oh my gosh, what? Those words were bad in 1978 for me, at least.
Yeah.
And so
for sure.
I feel like that reaction happened to me then. Now it's like, okay, they already sort of blew it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that there's regular swearing, and then there's
overdoing it.
and there's elevated swearing, and I think it was just
that's true.
It was
Yeah,
sort of
that's
over
very
the
true.
top.
I'll certainly agree. with that.
There's a time when let's get the hell out of here actually means something, and then when you say, when you cross that line, at least in Star Trek, and this is my own opinion, and some people agree and some people don't, and mostly Whitney, it sounds like you're on the same page, but at least for Star Trek, that's how you alienate a large population of your audience. Is
Indeed.
You have this show that's family friendly. You have this show that it's really about science fiction and human exploration, and now you're tainting it with something that's not meaningful. So it was disappointing. Did it ruin it for me? Not at all. I still watch the show. I think it's great. I'll continue to watch it, but I was disappointed. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand. I mean, Star Trek's a big thing for my family. My daughter, I mean, we've watched Star Trek with her. And so it's something that we could count on being family friendly, and we would actually talk about some of the lessons in the episode. So I tell you what, call it an odd way to parent, but you know what? It works. So, and it's how you keep perpetuating the Trekkies. So it works out pretty well. But it's one of those things we could always count on it being clean, and it being something that we could watch from start to finish with no problem.
With the entire family, right? Now you're
that is not this show. And it's not
okay.
Not just words.
Here's the funny thing. The most Star Trek show on TV right now isn't even Star Trek, and here's Ryan. He says the Orville.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Hilarious. I love it. Oh yes, totally family friendly.
Fantastic. Well,
a couple little weird things it is Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah,
he has a little bit of toilet humor in there.
A lot of sexual innuendo.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I mean, it's as close to the Next Generation as you will ever get again. And it's produced by Brandon Braga and a bunch of the guys that worked on Star Trek. I think Jonathan Frakes directs an episode. It has so many ties to the original Trek. It's unbelievable.
Oh, interesting. Good.
And it got, by critics, it's been railed, but by audiences, it's like over the top. I think on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like the polar opposite of how things usually are, with like a 14% from critics and a 90% from audience, which is amazing. Oh yeah,
I'll look forward to checking it out. I've heard the same about it as well.
Just fantastic. I think they're doing 13 episodes for the next season. It's going to be great. So maybe 14 actually. I think they're doing 14. But give it. Yeah, Norm Macdonald's a little crazy on the show.
Oh,
just read the chat, Whitney.
Yeah, I'm reading it. Norm Macdonald is a blob of glue, or a blob of goo, who has a crush on an African American woman.
Yeah, and it gets kind of crazy. It's pretty funny.
It's weird. It's like squeamish humor that
For adults, I think it's worse than kids. Like kids would just think, "Wow."
It's like watching an episode.
What is it?
Yeah.
Food fight. Oh my gosh. You didn't answer my question. Whitney, Casey says something about food fight. What's going on with food fight?
Oh,
Yeah, it's a long running dialogue that Casey and I've had. I've been looking for parts for a food fight joystick for him for easily a year and a half now, and so we're hoping that this culminates in actual parts in June at Southern Fried Game Room Expo. So Casey, that's the plan, buddy. That's a plan.
Is that one of those weird Atari joysticks with the Atari logo on top? I can't remember.
It does not have an Atari logo on the ball top of the joystick, but it is one of the joysticks with the bellows,
Okay.
and it's a very very odd joystick underneath of it.
so similar to a Sinistar, or
Yeah, well, it's called a gimbal joystick,
Okay.
and so it's as unique as a Sinistar joystick. How about that?
okay.
Yeah, yes, yeah, it's as unique. So, yeah, it's used on Red Baron, and I think there's a version of it that's used on one other Atari game as well. But yeah, the joysticks just and the parts just go for stupid money. So
Yeah.
they're hard to come by.
It's interesting. I just played Food Fight at a friend's house last week after the arcade swap, and he has a
Yeah,
lot.
did you like it?
It's one of my favorite. I mean, I wish I could get one. I really do.
Yeah.
Such a
It's one of my
fantastic
wife's
game.
favorite too.
And do you have it? Mark?
No, we do not. We go to Grinkers, and that's the game we like to marathon on.
Yeah,
Man, that's
Such a
good
fun game.
I don't understand why I didn't know about it, and it's ridiculously fun.
It is. It is.
Is there a port of it on like PS2 or PS3 or PS4? Anybody know?
Let me Google that for you.
I don't know.
Could you please,
I could not tell you. Not sure.
Can we just have our listeners do that, and then
listeners,
we
please-
can wrap up the show in 2 minutes?
instead of "Hey Google," we can just say "Hey, hey listeners." It's not working. There's a huge delay in the search engine. I don't understand what's
Yeah.
going on here. So, okay, so Star Trek and video games. Oh, great. That's a great combination. What do you think of Star Trek, the arcade game?
I always thought it was great. I got a chance to play the Captain's Chair edition several years back, and you're talking about the Sega Vector game,
Absolutely.
correct?
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's a great game. I think it's fun. It's not a hop in and hop out type of game. It's one where you actually need to put some time towards it and think your way through the game. But I love the fact that Sega did it, because it's not a quarter earner game in my mind. It's a game for the fans.
And it's
Yeah.
interesting when I first sat in that thing, and I do have a captain's chair, but needs a little.
Oh,
rest.
nice.
Needs a
Wow,
little-
nice. Very nice.
Needs a little love. But when I first sat in that thing, and I put in the quarter, and you hear, "Welcome aboard, Captain." You
Yeah.
know, it's like all of a sudden you're this, 11 or 12-year-old kid, and
With a grin on your face.
and you're the captain of the Enterprise.
That's
you know,
exactly right.
And
That's what we all wanted to be, man.
oh my God, it was just so friggin' cool. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah,
it's a difficult
think
game
it's
to keep
neat.
running. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true. The monitors on and those are tough, but
Yeah, but it's gonna be. I've promised myself it's gonna be done within the next 2 years, or I'm gonna sell it to somebody who will take care of it. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Sell it to me.
So that's funny. Yeah.
What? Something wrong with that?
Right.
I always wanted one.
Or we're gonna
I
flip
had
it.
to, in the 80s on my PC, I had to play that terrible grid Star Trek game where you'd go from one sector and then there'd be 3 numbers in it, and if there was a number in the middle.
Oh yeah, the PC Star Trek game.
Oh my
I do.
goodness.
Yes, I definitely remember that game. I definitely remember it. It was a lot like, in my mind, it was a lot like Star Raiders on the Atari
Yeah.
2600. Yeah, if you remember that game.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll appreciate this vector game. Let me tell you.
So you got to flip it around now, and tell us, ask us some questions. Whitney, what do you want to know about Mark?
Well, it's interesting because one of the things that I was looking forward to, hopping on the show is just meeting some folks from Clav and everything like that. I don't really get to talk to a whole lot of people on Clav. I don't get a chance to meet them face to face or anything like that. What's the arcade scene like where you guys are at? So I know, Mark, it sounds like you're in Texas. Adam, it sounds like you're in Minnesota.
Yep.
What's that's my question to you guys. 5 minutes each. What's the scene like for you guys?
Oh my gosh. Mark, you want to go first or should I?
Sure. Well, let me first preface by saying I was in Minnesota for 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that arcade scene is way better than my arcade scene now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe should I rattle off some, or where do you want to go?
Well, I feel like,
let's tag team it. Let's tag team it.
Okay.
So Minnesota. What's your favorite arcade in Minnesota?
Oh, my favorite arcade is definitely Up Down.
Mine too. Fantastic. 2 floors, 2 outdoor patios, a killer collection of classic games. Let me see if I can do a little.
The craft beer selection is amazing.
Yeah, craft beer and cocktails, full bar. And one of my favorite games I don't get to play anywhere else, ice cold beer.
Yeah, a very rare one.
Definitely a rare game.
Well, there's a couple people I can play it at, but I do get to play it there. And the pinball selection is amazing. Skee ball, just really, really fun. A true representation of the 80s arcade, I think, in many ways.
Cool. Yeah.
So they're opening a new location in Milwaukee soon. So this spring.
Oh wow,
Nice.
That'd be like their third or fourth.
Yeah. So that's kind of.
How about the collector community? I mean, are there a lot of collectors around where you're at, Adam, or not? Yeah, your name.
Minnesota is the worst for collecting community. We have a large collecting community here. There is high competition. One of the problems with Minnesota too is the extreme temperatures. So if games went to a warehouse or a barn, they don't survive.
Yeah.
Same thing with Texas. If they get into like a termite area or something like that, you're done.
Oh, there's a variety of things that can happen.
Yeah.
You get a wasp infestation.
But like, I feel like California is the best place to collect. Somehow the games stayed.
Or Chicago, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because there's a lot of Midway and all that sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah. So here, I think it's really Mark. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's difficult because everybody's on top of Craigslist. Everybody is watching everybody.
Well, I was mostly that guy. A lot of people were glad when I moved away because I got a lot of good grabs when I was there. I think the best one was the turkey shoot for $100.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That was
Wow.
pretty neat. But
and that's a fun game too. Turkey shoot's a great game.
I know. I'm thinking about trading it in for a crossbow with a 440 multi-board, but
Okay.
it would be my multi-board that I bought into this. So tell me if I'm crazy about this trade. I don't know. I like the turkey shoot, but I mean, I've killed them a certain amount of time, and it does require a little bit of work over here. The one thing though I think you got to keep in mind about the Midwest, even though the weather's bad, they have more games there because I think people were indoors more often during the year.
Interesting
In
theory.
Texas, a lot more outdoor activity stuff.
Interesting theory. Yeah.
Yes. Because there's not a lot of stuff out here. It's pretty sparse. I think that the competition has just increased over time, with the popularity. I mean, this Ready Player One movie is probably not going to help. There's always that thought where, when Pixels comes out, all the games are going to be impossible to buy, or
Tron did go up a bit after Tron came out.
It did.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
I mean,
I don't really know that it's settled back down either. I
No.
mean, guys, games just seem high. I
They
mean,
do.
all across the board, they're just high.
They are. We've been talking
Yeah.
about it for months. But here's the thing. I'm okay with it.
that's because you're in a good place, right? You've got but if you're just starting out, your chance to score the $100, final fight or not final fight, turkey shoot, super low.
No.
And yeah, that doesn't exist.
The $200 Hellifier cabinet.
Yeah, I
converted to
kind of.
Popeye.
So here's the
Yeah.
thing. It's great to be friends with someone like Mark because if you need something like a Pac-Man machine.
You know where to go, huh?
Right. Right.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know I wanted a Pac-Man machine until last year when I needed one. Or was it the
I
spring?
just happened to have one in my storage bin.
Yeah.
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 It's all. I mean, it's good. I mean, I've the collector community here, I mean, it's pretty decent, but there is competition.
Yeah.
But there's been some operators that you can still hit up from time to time, and they've got stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll find some stuff. Just nothing crazy. It feels like nothing outlandish or super rare though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so we have that. We have Paradise Arcade, which is Brian Armitage's. He's a local surgeon that has, parts and stuff for modern games, and he's been on the show a couple times. Good friend of ours. He's the one that did the arcade swap last week, which was great.
Cool.
Fantastic guy. And he has a lot of room, so he's got a ton of games. He has 2 Journeys. Both of the marquees are signed by the entire band. One of them is actually the Journey from Journey's arcade tour, or from their. Also, he bought their Defender machine because apparently they had a Defender machine on tour. So, yeah, it's fun to know these guys. It's really cool. Chris Rhodes, probably one of the better known.
Oh yeah, yep, definitely one of the better known guys in the hobby.
Just phenomenal work. On his restorations, and a crazy good, fantastic resource. And he's the guy that I played Food Fight with last week. He's got 2 Rush 2049s in his basement. He's got a Food Fight. He's got a ice cold beer. He's got a Warlords. He's got a Paperboy. He's got Tempest and a couple other really rare games. And then it's always a fun time when you go over there, and he's very knowledgeable. So, Sean Williams, very well known collector, fetish boy.
Yeah, yep.
Also super talented. Bit of a recluse lately, but most certainly one of the finest restoration people in the hobby across the nation. Even I would say, if you've ever seen any of his Rockola cabinets, they're fantastic.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty.
But he just has a craftsman and artist's touch when it comes to putting these games together. I think he and Chris sort of inspire each other to be better at what they do.
Yeah, they've got a bit of a friendly rivalry going in that regard. So
I've restored my share of games. I've gotten better over the years. But I tend to like a little patina on the game, so I'm not so much about rebuilding or, redoing everything on it, but I do want things to not be rusty and and
I'm the same way. I can live with some patina, but I do like nice clean control panel overlays and bezels and marquees and stuff like that. But I don't get all mental about cabinet condition and all that.
And as long as it's not rotting out or the bottom isn't, a problem or whatever, then you can roll with it. Star Wars, I love my Star Wars machine. I have a Star Wars machine that was sold at a MoMA auction and was bought by a guy for very cheap because it had been crapped on by a bunch of birds in a barn, and he cleaned it up. And I didn't know that until after I bought it, but he had cleaned it up, and it looked great. Nothing, didn't smell funny or anything. And I brought it home and fixed it up, and it's still one of my favorite games, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So you just need a little elbow grease in some of these games.
That's true, man. That's true. Just that and a good shop vac.
Yeah. So to answer your question, it's crazy around here. There's a lot of competition. I think that's good and bad. We all know each other. We have a locals Facebook group that's I think it's closed, but basically you have to be Minnesotan to be in it.
Yeah.
Or Mark. Mark is allowed. He's an alumni.
Alumni.
But Mark, tell us what's going on down in Texas.
Oh, not much. I mean, the Game Preserve is the best arcade, which and it ties sometimes really if you are able to get into Joysticks Arcade, which is downtown right by Minute Maid Park where the Astros play. But they're only open the first and last Friday. And the collection, though, at the Game Preserve is phenomenal, and it changes out, and they really care. There's a lot of great games they even have in storage that they just can't fit in there, and so that's sort of the mecca, if you will, if you come into Houston. That's like a place that you got to go visit. I mean, there's no amusement parks here, so That's probably the best it's going to get as far as pure enjoyment. Everything on free play, and they have very quirky people minding the desk that are fun to talk to. They have somebody there. She owns a Jurassic Park replica Jeep. So I don't know how that happened, but
that's cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, I mean, arcade market here being as it is, it's still a matter of timing and Craigslist and convincing that seller that, hey, take the ad down now that I've made the offer, and hoping that they do it. And so if you can lock in the deal and they honor it, and there's a nice etiquette where you don't overbid something to try to steal it and snipe it from somebody else, that does happen. I mean, there's jerks out there just like there are anywhere else.
I think it's great that your Vote for Pedro shirt is a workout shirt.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're see that right back here.
Nice.
We're Team Napoleon Dynamite. We used to use the van in races that we were, racing in.
Oh my god.
Yep, 5 years in Minnesota, but then we moved it down here, so we'll see what happens.
Back in '82.
How are we doing? We got 3 minutes till the show needs to end. 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're running out of time. I think it's final thoughts time.
Final thoughts.
It's been great having you on the show. First of all, thank you for
appreciate the opportunity, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being a guest. And it's been fun to learn a little bit more about Sky Skipper, and I hope some of the audience tonight got to learn a little bit and goes check out your website and goes and check out your podcast, because when we're not on, we want them to listen to you. Listen to all the podcasts. We did a little arcade hangouts last week. That was super fun. But yeah, those guys are a hoot. So I just enjoy the fact that we're all part of this large collecting arcade community, and when something like Sky Skipper comes along and you make it happen, that's really inspiring. So I hope. Oh my God, Greaseball found us. Vote for Greaseball.
You misspelled Greaseball.
Yeah, so it says Geeseball.
Yeah, it does. It says Geeseball. That's funny.
Who the heck is Greaseball? Anyway, that's pretty funny. So he's this guy that popped on 3 weeks ago, and now we can't figure out what's going on. So anyway, really great to have you on the show. Whitney, any final thoughts on your on the hobby and your involvement with it?
The last thing I'll say is I think it's a fantastic hobby. I think it's something that we all kind of make our own as we go, and we all kind of cut our own path with it. But I'll say this: if there's anything that we as grown adults can rally behind, it's 30, 35, 40 years old, and it brings everybody together through a common interest. I mean, it's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing. And so it's something that has meant a lot to my family, working on the Sky Skipper project. I mean, it allowed us to travel a little bit, and my family's seen what it's meant to us and meant to me, and this is just one of the best hobbies in the world. So I enjoy meeting everybody, and this is a great opportunity. I thank you for the time, man. I love talking to people about this stuff, and I'm just jazzed that people are even interested in what Alex and I did.
Oh, that's great. Mark, what are your final thoughts for this show, huh?
Don't let the door hit you. No, I'm just kidding.
That.
I see Christine walking back and forth in my video.
I know, I'm watching to see, my wife, I told her, hey, camera's on, don't come in here.
I got to put a curtain behind me or something.
That's right. I need the black curtain, like Orange Whip uses. You can't see where he's at.
Yeah. So that was your final thought, Mark?
My final thought. I'll see you guys at Ready Player One tonight.
Oh my gosh!
10 at the Silverado. Everybody, let's go.
When do we finally get to watch it? Anyway, you've seen it twice before everybody else can.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it as well. Looking forward to it.
You jerk. I mean, I love you, and I hope you have a great time. So this show is Arcade Radio, and you can find us on the YouTubes. Well, you used to be able to. Now we're apparently on Twitch. That may or may not last.
May or may not last.
This was our first live video broadcast. Thank you for being on the show. Subscribe to the audio broadcast on iTunes, Google Play, or SoundCloud, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. This is my song that I own.
That's right. Nobody
And I-
can play copyright claim to this song.
That's right, because I have the copyright on it. Yeah. Adam, it was a simple misspelling. He's the. Please believe I'm the real, genuine, 100% greaseball. Geezer ball.
Now let's see if Adam can kill 2 live streams with 1 stone.
I think I can. I think I can. Alright. Peace out and stuff like that. Because, you know, that's what we gotta do.
I didn't know there was a brass section in this. Ah, we hung up.